Leader of the only undefeated team, Jalen Hurts is soaring like an eagle over the entire NFL landscape. Here is the rise of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had a bumpy ride in his early career before even making it to the NFL. When he was at Alabama, he lost the starting quarterback job to Tua Tagovailoa. Most people would sulk and have a poor attitude for being benched, but Alabama coach Nick Saban publicly praised Hurts on his sensational performance and how handled losing the job to Tagovailoa. Hurts ended up leaving Alabama for Oklahoma and explained why he decided to leave. "I want to end my college career with a bang. There's a great foundation here at Oklahoma, and Coach Riley does a great job." Nevertheless, Jalen Hurts got what he wanted and was ready to be selected for the NFL draft. It's difficult to spot greatness in the NFL draft because the talent has yet to be tested on an NFL field. The player hasn't been prodded by the media and hounded by the public, which are factors that can affect an athlete. It's even more inconceivable to believe that such a talent could make the giant leap from mediocre NFL player, which is decent, to an athlete that has hit superstar status. Jalen Hurts has taken that giant step into NFL stardom and has done so through his mesmerizing play, but you wouldn't have ever anticipated such outstanding play given his relatively poor start to his career. It was a rookie season to forget for Jalen Hurts, as he started in only 4 games and recorded only 1 victory. His pass completion percentage was at a low 52%, and he threw for 4 interceptions. A ratio of 1 interception per game is pricey in the NFL, but Hurts showed why the Philadelphia Eagles were right in drafting him by scoring 6 passing touchdowns and rushed for 354 yards, where he also added 3 touchdowns. Hurts was the 53rd overall pick in the 2020 draft and was playing like someone who never stepped foot in such a fast-paced arena, but he still gave you the impression, that glimmer of hope, that he will belong. The Eagles that season finished last in their division, winning only 4 games. But it wasn't all doom and gloom, because Hurts' life was about to drastically change. With a new coach at the helm in the shape of Nick Saban. Clearly, ownership wanted to hire a coach that could mold Hurts into an elite quarterback, and they thought Sirianni would be the right man for the job. And they were, as Sirianni gave Hurts the license to play his style of football. Hurts that season played and started in 15 games, and went 8 for 7 in the regular season, which was just enough to send the Eagles into the playoffs after having missed it the season before. Hurts' numbers were drastically improved too. From the 432 attempted passes, he had a pass completion percentage of 61.3%, which is close to a 10% improvement from the prior season. He also had 16 touchdowns, which were 10 more than he had in 2020, but still threw for 9 interceptions. The ratio of interceptions to games went down, but it still was seen as a high number, which is why head coach Nick Saban designed plays and encouraged Hurts to use his legs whenever the opportunity presented itself. Hurts did so 139 times, which was 76 more times than in his rookie year. On the ground, Hurts scored 10 touchdowns and averaged over 50 yards per game. It wasn't a stratospheric improvement, but the signs were there that Jalen Hurts wasn't a bust draft pick. Under the right guidance and belief from his head coach, it was clear that Hurts had the tools at his disposal and the experience under his belt to make that leap into potential greatness. But it is fair to say that you can remove potential from that sentence, because Jalen Hurts has arrived and is knocking on that MVP door. This season, the Eagles are undefeated, in large part thanks to tremendous quarterback play from Jalen Hurts. Based on the eye test alone, you can clearly see that there's a measured swagger, soothing confidence, and a trustworthy leadership aura enveloping Hurts whenever he's about to snap the ball. But you didn't have that impression in the first game of the season. Philadelphia went to Detroit and of course won because they're currently undefeated. But Hurts had a bad game by his present standard. He had a pass completion percentage of 56.25%. And when you see that, you start to think that Jalen Hurts has regressed. He hasn't improved in the offseason, and he's nowhere near ready to make that jump into elite quarterback status. But he didn't throw an interception, so you begin to wonder if maybe this isn't the Jalen from 2021. And then he rushed for 90 yards for 17 carries, scoring 1 touchdown. And that's when thoughts pop up that he might just be a rushing quarterback rather than a passing one. That Hurts is going to put his body on the line anytime he feels a passing play isn't developing and taking off. It's certainly the impression that was given to those who follow the NFL closely. But then again, it was just one game, because the following week, Jalen Hurts had the game of his life. The Eagles were hosting the Minnesota Vikings, who had just obliterated the Aaron Rodgers-led Green Bay Packers. It was a game framed as two potential NFC powerhouses squaring off against each other. Two electrifying offenses that were going to put some serious points on the board. But it ended up being the Jalen Hurts show. 31 pass attempts, resulting in a pass completion percentage of 83.87%. Yes, that's right, only 5 passes were incomplete. Hurts threw for 333 yards, scoring 1 touchdown, then ran the ball for 57 yards, scoring 2 more touchdowns. A total of 3 touchdowns and 390 total yards was enough of an indicator that Jalen Hurts, on his team's home opener, dismantled the so-called dominating threat of the Minnesota Vikings. Hurts played the game of his life. It was a statement game for the entire NFL. And this is what the Eagles quarterback had to say after the game. "Whatever is getting us wins, that's how it rolls. You know, I've said all week, I just want to win. I don't care how it looks. I don't care if it's me rushing a lot, if it's Miles Sanders rushing a lot. Whatever it takes." It's the type of attitude that you want to see from your quarterback. Someone that is purely focused on team success rather than individual accolades. But the offensive production is clearly determined by what Jalen Hurts decides to do, and he's making smart plays. In the weeks that followed that impeccable performance, Hurts averaged a pass completion percentage of 64.77%, which is relatively good, and he only threw for 1 interception. That is the key figure. Hurts has minimized the mistakes and is making smarter decisions on the ball. He also threw for 5 touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts might not care about the numbers, but he can't deny them either. So far this season, Hurts has improved his overall pass completion percentage from 2021. It's up 5.3% and up 14.8% from his rookie year. Hurts is on pace to reach over 4,000 passing yards, which would eclipse that of last season by over 1,000 yards. He's also on pace to rush for 830 yards, which would again be more than he achieved last season. Again, these are just numbers that only have a place when it comes to granting admission into the Hall of Fame. The only stat that Jalen Hurts is concerned with is the W in the Super Bowl game. A player who is producing skyrocketing numbers and who is able to convince the media that he doesn't care about them is someone who will only measure his greatness by the number of team titles. That is a sign of true leadership, which is difficult to come across given the culture that surrounds celebrity status athletes. There's usually a degree of selfishness and a dose of arrogance that accompanies players when they allow their on-the-field talents to go to their head. But that's not the case with Jalen Hurts. He knows that this season is a tremendous opportunity for him and his teammates to reach the Super Bowl. Hurts might not care that he is in contention to be the league MVP, that he has a shot at being the Super Bowl MVP. All he cares about is performing to the best of his abilities and winning. That is a sign of an athlete who will continue to be on the rise because he has the mindset along with his incredible ability. Jalen Hurts will continue to soar like the eagle that he is. Do you believe Jalen Hurts cares about his numbers? Will Hurts continue to soar? Can the Eagles reach the Super Bowl? Please let us know in the comments below, but before you go, if you still want to watch some awesome NFL content like this, please watch the next video that will pop on your screen.